Bismillah, alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alaihi. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, there is no one who knows except Allah. These are the truth, nothing but the truth. There is no one who is powerful except Allah. This is also the words of truth. There is no one who knows what is hidden and what is exposed except Allah. Allah knows whatever there is in our heart, in our belief or in our mind. No one knows what is in our hearts and what is in our mind except Allah. So you do not know the iman of a person except if Allah told you. Iman, faith towards Allah are things which are invisible, unseen. You know, paradise, hellfire, punishment in the grave are all things which are known as the unseen. We only know and we only be able to see paradise and hellfire when we have passed away from this world. We will not be able to see. When we pass away from the world, I mean when we die, we have to pass through the time in the grave, either being blessed in the grave or undergoing punishment of the grave. Then the doomsday come, we will be made to be awakened from the grave, to be able to walk all together towards the field of mahsyar. Then we will be judged. Then then each one of us will be decided as to whether we are the people of the right or the people of the left. Then only will be made to see the paradise for those who are the members of the left, for the right, and the members of the left will be made to see the fire of hell. That time we will see, not now. So what we are told now is things of the unseen, not things of the that we are able to see. We are able to see the house, the car, but the unseen, we have not seen it. That's why it's called unseen. But we are told about the unseen prior to our death, prior to being able to see the unseen. With our naked eyes, we are told that they are about the things of the unseen. So some people decide not to believe it because they don't see it, and some people decide to believe in it, to believe in the unseen. So Allah is unseen, definitely. He will not make himself to be seen while we are living in this world. None except Muhammad SAW able to see Allah, and at the point when he's able to see Allah, he doesn't have the normal eye. He has the heavenly eyes, the eyes that can see the heavens. Heavenly, I'm not sure what it means, but eyes which are able to see the unseen. Put it that way. Understand? So in the journey towards meeting Allah, he passes many, sceneries of the unseen to all of other people except him. Then he was made to be seen, to be able to see Allah. So the Prophet ﷺ doesn't go to meet or to see Jibril as being interpreted by some in tafseer of Ibn Qasir. Why Allah made him to go to the highest heaven, beyond highest heaven, just to see Jibril? Jibril come down to him. At a time he was made, the Prophet ﷺ was made to be able to see Jibril while on earth. Why need to go to see Jibril? No. Allah made Rasulullah Muhammad to take the journey of Isra and Mi'raj, go to the highest heaven, beyond it, only to meet and to see Allah. See? So Allah narrated the conversation which is going on between Allah and him, Muhammad ﷺ, in our prayers, 5 daily prayers, in the Tahiyyat. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he see Allah, meet Allah, he say, At-Tahiyyatul Mubarakatul Salawatu Taibatu Lillah. See? And then Allah answered, Assalamu alayka ayuhan Nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Then Muhammad ﷺ replied, Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salim. Then the whole angels were there, recite La ilaha, ashhadu alla ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. So it is real. It is real that he is meeting Allah and seeing Allah. And when he saw Allah, he said, Allah is so beautiful. The beauty of Allah is undescribable, or not able to be described by him. So my dear brothers, when Allah made him to see Allah, what it means? He is the person who is able to see Allah while living in this world. It means Allah want him to tell the whole entire mankind that Allah exists. You understand? No one can really be sure that Allah exists if he doesn't see Allah, isn't it? Isn't it? Alright. Yeah. So Allah made him to be able to see Allah, so that the very important point, things which has differed among mankind, is as to whether Allah exists or not. Many people do not want to believe in the unseen. They say, no, there is no God except me. The one who says there is no God except me is one who wants to follow his desires, whims and fancies. Whatever I want to do, I will do. I want to do this, I don't have to know whether it's evil or not. I will do it because I'm the God. I will do it because I'm the God. I don't obey anyone else except me, my own desire. If I want to visit the prostitute, I will go. Why? Who should prevent me? If I want to eat the pigs, the beacons, They don't say pigs, you know. Nobody use I want to eat pigs. No. There's no food named pigs. They have camouflage the pigs with the name I want to take bacon and eggs. So there's a menu, bacon and eggs. Some so-called Muslim, they are not sure what is bacon. They don't know English. So they say bacon and egg. Oh, someone said, no, that's pig. Oh, pigs. Bacon and eggs. A very usual breakfast for people, non-Muslim, particularly the West. Breakfast, bacon and eggs. And then you got breads. And you spread butter on top of the bread. You put bacon on it. Then another bacon. Then you eat sandwich, bacon and eggs. Ooh, I don't know, but it seems delicious. You see, bacon and eggs. Very fine slice, the bacon. Very thin. They cut it into pieces. So Anzala doesn't know. His English is poor. So he say bacon egg, and the bacon and egg as others are doing. He doesn't realize that's actually pigs. Highly forbidden to be eaten, by all the believers. I went to Australia, we cannot find any halal food. It was in the year 1974. There were very few Muslims, and all the Muslims are not practicing Islam. That time there is no dawah. So we went to the Chinese restaurant. We cannot ask for anything except for fried rice. So we said this is probably called be halal. But inside the fried rice they put bacon also. So nothing is halal. Then we start with but we are hungry. Cannot eat anything else. We cannot eat meat, we cannot eat anything. They don't eat fish there so much as they eat meat. So in those days when there's no dawah, we hardly can eat anything except eggs. Then we asked the father is a mufti. He said you can eat but not too much, only to satisfy your hunger. More than that. That is what is said in the Quran. If you happen to be in a forest, nothing to eat, but you can eat even the bangkai. What is bangkai? Bangkai means the carcass. Except you don't eat it to your full. You eat only to suffice, fulfill your hunger. So anyway, people do not believe there is God because they believe in their own desire, like Hanzala. Whatever I wish, and Sufyan and Rimpi, they worship their desire, and Rashidi too, and everyone else, except differed in the level. But those who do not believe in Allah, they will believe in their desire. They only worship their idol. It's not their God. They worship money. It's not their God. They say it's their God, but actually they worship their desire. So they do not want to believe because Allah is not seen. Allah make Muhammad SAW to be able to meet him up high in the higher heaven, beyond it, just to nullify the facts that Allah does not exist. So what the non-believers will have to say? But naturally they don't believe in this, in the journey of Isra Mi'raj. They say, no, we don't believe. How can the Muslim believe they say, in the journey of Isra Mi'raj. The Prophet Salam in this journey goes to the seventh heaven, beyond it to Arsh of Allah, beyond it to the Kursi of Allah. It's so high, unimaginable. Pooh. But in paradise we will see Allah. Those people who are able to enter paradise will be made to be able to see Allah at least once. But to be able to visit Allah, you need to be able to acquire the status of the lovers of Allah, where you will be placed in paradise to occupy the higher levels of paradise, very close to Allah. Then you will frequent. You have the award of able to frequently visiting Allah. Those in the lower heavens, they will be frequenting the women of paradise. We call bidadari or hurul ain. So they are busy in fulfilling their desires, by having sex. They are not so keen in meeting Allah because they are the lower levels of paradise. So those who in the higher levels of paradise will be blessed with the with the ability to be able to meet and to see Allah, beautiful face, more than able to have thousands and millions of sexual intercourse with the Nurul Ains. It is pleasure, but it's not anymore close to the pleasure of able to see and meet Allah. And they are awarded with this blessing in paradise because they are the lovers of Allah. They love nothing else except Allah. And you, the normal, people who can enter paradise only, the true believers, the good deeds of the lower level, they only want sex. So Allah make those who want sex, but not to the extent that they will go to prostitute. They will have sex with their wife only. To those whom nikah has been solemnized upon them. These people need sex, they like sex. So Allah made them only to be busy with sex while they are in paradise. But those in the higher level will be busy. Will be busy meeting Allah. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made himself to be seen by all the Jannati, the people who enter Jannat, they will see, when they eat the banana, they can eat it, the banana. Every slice of the banana, the taste is different. The next banana, the taste is even better. The next one, even better. So they keep on eating only bananas the first time they enter paradise. Then they don't want to go. Then Allah said to that person, go inside and eat many things. Why banana? When he turned his back, he allowed the skin of banana, was and like mountains. When you eat banana, you throw out the skin, isn't it? You don't eat together with the skin. It's the skin of banana, it's called. So when he turned back, mountains. Only eating banana because it's so delicious. Its name is the same, but it's not. The taste is not the same. So this is how, the fruits, the water, everything is delicious. So they say there's nothing more that I want. Then Allah, show the people when he hear, the sounds in paradise. They have, first is the delicious taste, then the delicious sound. nothing much more delicious than this. Yeah? Then ask them, you have anything else you want? No. Enough. Very good food, very good water, drinks, very delicious sounds, and then very beautiful scenery. Then Allah read the Surah Ar-Rahman. When Allah reads Surah Ar-Rahman, the whole people of Jannat start to think there is no more better than this. So, the recitation of Surah Ar-Rahman by Allah Ta'ala in paradise make the whole people of paradise to succumb to pleasure. They said no more. You want anything more? Oh, say no. And then finally, Allah make the people of Jannah to be able to see Him. Then they said, these are the greatest pleasure ever given to us. This is so good. They look at Allah. They forget the paradise. They forget the woman of paradise for a while, and the food and everything else. They were stunned with the vision which they are able to see. They have never ever been able to see while they are in the life of this world, is to see Allah. So Allah exists, my dear. The Prophet ﷺ is made to see, and he said to us, Allah is there, watching at us, is ever living, is not dying, is seeing everything. He knows what you are doing. Either you disclose it or you don't. He knows whatever in your heart. So the main thing which make people do not want to believe in Allah, because they don't see Allah. You don't see Allah, but Muhammad has seen it. He's telling us Allah exists. There's no God except Allah. Why you want to deny? You can't see Him now, but the Prophet ﷺ has seen it. And he has narrated the conversation that take place between him and Muhammad in our 5 times daily prayer. And when you recite the Tahiyyat, you must imagine that at that juncture, the Prophet is actually with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's real, So that's why when Umar radiallahu anhu, he was deadly against our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, deadly. So when he met his sisters who has embraced Islam, he was furious, and he beat her, and she said, you can beat me anything you like, but we will not leave this religion of the truth. Then he said, how can that a woman only are so having very strong belief in this religion? Why? So he said, where's that Quran that you have read? Give it to me. So he said, you are not allowed to read it unless you are clean. So to him, to clean is to take bath, not to. So he take bath. Then he read it, Then he read that ayat. Allah says, I am God. The surah when Allah said to Musa, I am your God, the Lord of the whole entire world. He speak, Musa here. And that same verses he read that same verses which Allah has revealed to Musa. He said, now, bring me to Muhammad. I'm going to embrace Islam. You see? That ayat, Allah is saying, I'm the Lord. He called Musa, O Musa, I'm the Lord of the world. This is proof that Allah exists. What else? Musa is there, and he said, O Musa, in words, I am the Lord of the world. Obey me. Perform worship for me. But those who are not thinking, they simply read this and not thinking about it. Like Yazid reading Quran just to finish it. So what books you have read now? Yazid? 11 books. When I asked him some questions on the books number 8, number 5, number 7 that he has read, he know nothing. He can't even remember anything. Same with Samad. In other words, you are just reading it, not understanding it. Allah has not bestowed you the understanding because you don't read it properly. You have to read it very slowly. I said, takes me a long time. I want to finish these 84 books. So dear brothers, there's so many in the Quran, and so many to learn. And each verses that we read should increase our iman. So think about it. At the same time, you must be the people of taqwa if you want to read the Quran with understanding. In order to make you taqwa, that's why I told you, besides listening to my lecture, you must do the work of inviting people to Allah, or inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, the way Muhammad SAW, with the intention to please Allah, which I have written the way, the method on how to do it, the words that we have spoken in my website, professornasoha.com. You click that, and the topic will be on the works of Dawah. Then you can print it down, download it, and start doing it. And while doing that, and they're reading the Quran at the same time, and then you will enjoy reading the Quran. Because as your iman increases, as your belief towards Allah increases, the more you will have, not to say to have fun, the more you have the understanding and the fun of reading Quran. You will enjoy it. So my dear brothers, Allah exists, and there are many evidence that shows Allah exists. One, the Quran. You will never be able to have Quran if Allah does not exist, isn't it? The Quran is not the words of Muhammad, the words of Allah, Quran is the words of Allah. What's the proof? It's the words of Allah. What's the proof? You have read 11 books already. What's the proof? You see, he keep quiet. What's the proof that the Quran is the words of Allah?
No one can even do it.
What's the proof? You see, Allah challenged the whole mankind and the jinn. Allah challenged. If you say this is the words of Muhammad, that means you also can do, isn't it? Then do it. Collect everyone else, not me. All the jinns. You write one verse. Until today, no one dare to take the challenge, and no one is able to do. The Jewish scholars, they want to change the Quran, but Allah has promised to guard the sanctity and the truth of Quran. So what they did, in order to, they did it to Taurat. They cannot do it to Quran. How they do it? They twist their tongue. It appears, look like words from same as in Taurat, but has different meaning. When they twist their tongue, they make it sound different. It turns different meaning. From worship to Allah, they change it. Worship the Prophet of Allah and the angels. And that's how they twist it. So people listen to him. When he say this is it, the scholars say this is from Allah. They know it's not from Allah, but they blatantly betrayed Allah. This is also written in the tafseer, in the Quran. So my dear brothers, the Quran is not the words of Muhammad, it's the word of Allah. So when there is a word of Allah, Allah exists or not? Exists, he said. Exists. But you don't have the belief to the bottom of your heart that Allah exists. And that's the reason. Sufyan, you don't have the belief in your heart Allah exists, isn't it? Isn't it? Correct or not?
Yes.
You have the belief that Allah exists in your heart?
No.
You have the belief? But there are evidence. And plus the sky and the heavens and the earth is created by man? No. By jinn? No. Nobody can tell now, okay, one man go and create the heavens? Or 2 men? 100 men? Can. Heaven. Can or not? Make 100 men to create the ants, the flies. Can? Then who can? Who can?
Allah.
You can say in your mouth. But it has to be deep in your belief and your mind that Allah exists and ever living. Allah says in the Quran is ever living and ever exists. Allah has no beginning and no end. The day when Allah will die, we make everyone in the whole universe to die. He remained alive and never died. That's why He's God. God never dies. You don't ask, if you are created by Allah, who created Allah? These are stupid people. Like Siti Kasim. He's asking, who created Allah? This bloody Siti Kasim are bloody fools. And whoever like him, like her, are fools. You are the creation, you are not the creator. You are not able even to create anything without the permission of Allah. You can only make cars, weapons, plane, that's all. You can make buildings, but from material created by Allah, you cannot make planes just like that. Oh, plane exists like Allah. Allah says be, everything is created. So my dear brothers, Allah is there, Allah exists. In the Quran, Allah is mentioning to Musa, I am the Lord of the world. Worship me and perform my prayer to remember me, and remember me by forming the prayer. But when we perform prayer, we don't remember Allah. When we perform the 5 daily prayer, do you remember Allah or not?
No.
You remember Allah or not?
No.
And that means why you do not remember Allah? Why? Why you do not remember Allah in your prayer? Now why you don't remember and you remember other than Allah? Why? No, because you don't believe in your heart and mind that Allah exists. That's the very reason why you cannot remember Allah. You don't believe He exists. Even though the evidence shows, that Allah exists. Everything in the sky and the earth, you see, is evidence Allah exists. Because Allah is the one who created all the things. When you see car, of course you don't remember Allah exists, because car made by man. But you see the ants, the flies, the sky, the water, the ocean, the animals, the man. Oh, you try to deceive mankind and yourself by saying, no, it's nature. Instead of telling that Allah is the one who created, you say nature. This is all fools and people who are proud and arrogant, who do not want to submit to the orders of Allah, but to submit to the orders of their desires and fancy and whims. They do not want to obey. So because of that, they say nature, the mother nature, and written in their books, mentioned in their lectures. No one mentioned Allah has created all this. They simply outrightly denied the existence of Allah by saying nature. And this is all busted. Who are denying the existence of the mighty Lord Allah. Allah exists. Muhammad SAW are able even to see Him while in this world. But Musa are not able to see Allah. One time the people of Bani Israel said, "Oh Musa, if you want us to believe you are the Prophet of Allah, let us see Allah." So Musa (AS) was challenged by his people that unless you made us to see Allah, we will not believe you as a prophet. So he said, "Oh Allah, I want to see you." Before he made the people, his people, to be able to see Allah, naturally he has to be able to see Allah first, isn't it? I can't make my people able to see Allah when I myself cannot see Him. So Allah says, "You cannot see me." Allah is covered by 70 layers of lights, you know. Allah narrated this as the light of the oil of zaitun. Zaitun is what? Olive oil. Oh, in that verse. So Allah says, but you try to see that mountain, Allah says, that hills. So he saw. Allah just opened a layer only. Collapse. The hills collapse and Musa collapsed. So we cannot, unless we have heavenly eyes. The eyes of our Prophet was changed from human eyes to heavenly eyes on his way to meet Allah. Otherwise, you cannot see Allah. So Allah exists. Is that sufficient enough to convince you that Allah exists or not? My dear friend, is it sufficient enough or not? The Quran, the creation of Allah, the words of Allah in the Quran. Quran will not be there if Allah is not there. It will never be there. The whole Quran so thick, 6,666 verses. Not enough? That's why the more you read the Quran, the more you will be closer to Allah. The lover of Allah is the one who learns the Quran and teaches Quran to others. They are the best person. And when asked Rasulullah, who is the best person? First person is the one who read and learn Quran and teach Quran, not reading the Quran. Or the best among you is the one who read Quran and teach reading the Quran to others. No. The best among you is the one who learn Quran and teach the Quran, the teaching which is in the Quran. Like me now, I'm doing the best work, given the best work, because I'm the lover of Allah. If I'm not the lover of Allah, I will not be given this work. Learning Quran and teaching the Quran. This work is more valuable than all the works in the world. In the world, you know. In the world. You tell me what is the best work in the world. Tell me. To become what? To become what? The best work in the world for you to think. Before listening to that hadith. What is the best work for you? To fuck your wife. Huh? What is the best work? If not told by Nabi SAW as the one who learn Quran and teach Quran. What do you think is the best work? Tell me. Don't try to hide your stupidity. What is your best work? To become what? Why you laugh? Tell me. To become what?
To become the most popular person.
To become the most popular person. Such as?
Artist.
Singers, artists. And you? Professor. You?
President.
President. You?
Rich man.
Huh?
Rich man.
Rich man. You? Rich. Sufyan? You? Huh? Banyak duit and be able to fuck people. Like you know, Anwar told to Saipul, can I fuck you? Saipul said, no. What? He forced his penis inside the anus of Saipul, and there's evidence. Anwar Ibrahim DNA same as DNA of inside the anus of. So he was sentenced to 5 years in jail for forcing. Now, I mean force fucking. You know, there are many people who fuck each other because they are doing it with pleasure and with each one willing, to fuck and to be fucked. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But this Anwar, they force. They fuck Saipul by force. It's 5 years sentence in jail. So my dear brothers, not all that things. The best work is to learn Quran and to teach Quran, like what has been given to me. The best work, and definitely is given to the best person. Understand? And the place which Allah will give to the best person is to be able to be very close to Allah in the day of Akhirah, in paradise, and to be able to frequently visiting Allah and busy in the companionship of Allah, not with the woman of paradise like Hanzalah. If ever he will be made to enter paradise, he will be made in the lower level. Only busy in eating, drinking food of paradise, and fucking the women of paradise. But that's not the best reward which Allah will give. The best reward which Allah will give is the reward of having to be able to frequently visiting Allah. And that is only possible when we are made to enter the highest level of paradise, my dear. So if ever you want to become the lover of Allah, we have to become the true believer of the good deeds. To do that, to be able to become the true believer of the good deeds, you must obey all the obligatory orders of Allah. And the first obligatory orders of Allah, after reciting the great kalima, is to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of your wealth and time in the way of Muhammad SAW, with intention to please Allah. Okay.